This week on Gone Wild Outdoors.
It just keeps getting better.
His head just peeled.
Last week on the show, Dakota shot a really nice gobbler.
Beautiful Miriam's fan right there.
And not to be outdone, Mark shot 3 of his own. After Mark and Dakota's success, we packed up the truck the next day and headed out to the prairie units. After about a 3-hour drive out to the prairies, Dakota and I finally got set up around 1 o'clock. We were inside this pasture area with all these old cars around us. There was even a big yellow school bus behind the blind. Not your typical turkey setup, but there was so much sign around us that we knew we were in a good spot. Anyways, we got the decoys out. We're gonna give it some time. It's warm. There's a lot of birds in here, so it should work out. We're gonna hold tight for a little while and see what happens, and hopefully get to bury the pen. Sometimes you get to that point when you're turkey hunting and you've gone through your turkey vest or your backpack or whatever, and you've thrown every possible call out that you can to try to get those birds' attention. And sometimes they're not gonna come. The last call I got to that I hadn't tried was this little snuff can. And for some reason, and again, I'm not the best caller using this little thing, but when I hit that call, the birds responded. We could hear the birds out in front of us about 200 yards. And I just kept working the calls, trying to get their attention, hoping that they would come up and investigate, take a look at our setup.
Gone Wild Outdoors is brought to you by New Archery Products, makers of the Spitfire Gobbler Getter.
Your friends are flipping burgers right now, but smoking turkeys is a lot more fun. Turkey hunters are a special breed. Now they have a special multi-tool. Real Avid's Turkey Tool. Nickel-coated blade, brush saw, choke wrench, carry hook, and a pin punch for trouble. The Turkey Tool by Real Avid. Available now at Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, and realavid.com.
Calling Wild Outdoors is presented by Hoyt Archery. Get serious, get Hoyt.
I had this little snuff can, and when I started using that thing, believe it or not, the birds responded. The only thing separating the blind from the turkey was the cattle fence. And I could hear him spitting and drumming. And once in a while, I'd just peek out the back of the blind, and I could see him. He was standing there at not even 10 yards. And he kept going back and forth. Finally, after a little bit more coaxing, this bird showed himself to the camera. He was just off to our left. We just brought that bird all the way around, and I just thumped him, and it's been a little bit of a, I mean, you come to South Dakota and you know what's out here, and you know there's a bunch of birds, but when your daggone nerves are just getting ready to snap, the emotions are just like, ooh. Oh, but anyways, looky, what do we have? Looky, he's just balled up. Oh, alright, bird number one down, 2 more tags. Well, I'd say we'd go try to track this bird, but if you just kind of pan over there. We don't have really much of a tracking job, but for fun of it, let's go. We'll just go get my arrow. The old NAP gobbler getter once again. Carbon matrix. What a great bird. Big old bird. I made one little call on that tube call. I mean, we've been sitting here going back and forth deciding if we were going to move or not because the birds were all over in this field. And this bird hammered. He was not even 5 yards in it. He's just spitting and drumming. And this fence, he wouldn't, I don't know why he went across the fence, but he ended up making his way all the way around. And then he came in and then the camera actually picked him up. And obviously it's a 5-yard shot. One of my longest this year so far, but it's a great bird. Good time. We got 2 more tags to try to fill out here, and if we don't, it's still just been a great hunt. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. What an exciting hunt.
Going Wild Outdoors has been brought to you by Brunton Optics, the real deal.
Unless you've walked this path, you don't know what it's like to be in these boots. Until you've shared this load, you can't call yourself a partner. Unless you're from here, you can't know what it's like to be here. So, choose your partner carefully. Brunton Hunting, the real deal since 1894.
This segment brought to you by AdCore Defense, the speed of innovation.
After shooting this bird, Dakota and I packed our gear up. We ended up getting in between the flock of birds we had been watching all afternoon and their roost tree. I stayed persistent with that little tube call, and sure enough, we ended up getting the attention of this whole flock, and they started making their way in. Well, I shot my bird just a little while ago. We're on the same farm. We've actually moved around closer to the roost. We have 2 more tags. I'm gonna see if we can at least fill 1, if not 2 of them. The birds are out in front of us, a couple 100 yards. They've been out there all day long, and we're set up. I don't know. We're close to the roost, and if they use these trees, which they normally do, they're gonna have to come through our little setup. So let's see if we can fill some more tags here in South Dakota. Tormenting us. As soon as this camera pans, you'll see they're 200 yards away, just sitting out there. We've counted over, I've lost count, probably 10, 12. That's an understatement how many gobblers just strutting, not the pure number of gobblers out there. I would say it's probably 20 to 30 easily. But we're gonna just keep we're gonna keep trying. Hopefully they'll come, go to roost. But just pan out there and take a look. They're coming. A couple times some of these gobblers would get further out in the front of the group and they'd look like they were coming in, and then they'd feed around a little bit and head right back to where they came from. So my excitement level kept going up and down. Finally, the first group of longbeards got to our setup. They came down the fence line and walked into the decoys. And before I could get the bow back and bury the pin on one, they, as quick as they came in, they walked off without giving me an opportunity.
This segment was brought to you by True Ball Release Aids. This segment of Gone Wild Outdoors has been brought to you by Fuse Archery Accessories. Perfect parts create the perfect hole.
After the birds worked off to our right, I started pulling on the string of that strutting decoy and continued to make some soft calls. I'm so focused on those two big gobblers because they're getting closer and closer, and we've been watching them come in. And my mind was kind of set that if, you know, they came all the way in, those are the ones that I wanted. They would definitely look like the biggest birds out there. Well, we were so focused that we didn't even pay attention to what was behind us. Next thing you know, you hear the spit and drum and the dragging of the wings literally against the blind. And we've got a pile of gobblers, 3 yards, coming right into our decoys. These gobblers weren't going to be as lucky as the first group that came in. I got that Hoyt back to full draw. Buried the pin. And tag number 2 was filled.
birds. I don't know. It must have hit him just straight in the wing. We gotta be quiet, but those birds, I don't know, 6 or 7 longbeards. I just picked whatever one I could get a shot on. Anyways, number 2 down. One more tag if we can get these birds to work. Again, I'll try to do a 3rd, but it's exciting. It's exciting. All right. We're gonna go grab this bird real quick. Birds are just over that hill, so we're gonna grab him. These birds roost in that tree right over there. So let's go grab him. 2-year-old bird. I'd say that's probably a pinwheel. I don't know. Good bird. Let's go, buddy. Just went and recovered this bird. I pinwheeled him. I broke both wings. You saw he ran off and just fell over. And luck would have it, one of the farm hands came on a 4-wheeler and chased all the other birds off, so we didn't even have to bump them. And got this bird. We watched the other ones go to roost. And here's the one from earlier today, a few hours ago. Prairie Miriam's here in South Dakota. What an exciting time. Day 2. Have one more tag. We're gonna try it tomorrow morning, try to fill it. Dakota has one more tag. Mark has 2 more tags. So we're gonna keep at them. I should say after them, until we get our tags filled. And as the sun sets here in good old South Dakota, pretty blessed and fortunate to be able to take these 2 birds. We'll give it a try in the morning. What an awesome hunt. Bearing the pin with the old Hoyt carbon matrix on some beautiful Miriams. Great hunt. Thank you, Lord.
Taxidermy decoys provided by Fortner Taxidermy. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter, or check us out online at gonewildoutdoors.com. Gone Wild Outdoors is presented by Hoyt Archery. Get serious? Get Hoyt. Real Avid, makers of the turkey tool. Brunton Optics, the real deal. Copper John sights, nothing tougher. Fuse Archery accessories. New archery products. GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. Magnus bullheads, dead on contact. Easton Archery, expect the best. Primus Camping, a part of people's adventure since 1892. Gone Wild Outdoors, beyond ordinary.